Hi, I'm Wade Wingler with the Indata Project at Easter Seals Crossroads in Indiana. In a recent Tech Tip video, Bryan Norton showed us all different kinds of computer access keyboards and how to get your hands on a computer keyboard and use it in a different way. Well, today he's going to go a little more in depth and show us how to access those keyboards with things like arm supports and positioning of keyboards and the ergonomic aspects of how to get that keyboard where it needs to be so that you can really use it. So let's go here in the Assistive Technology Lab with Bryan so he can show us a little bit more. So Bryan, in a recent video you showed us about all kinds of different computer keyboards, but one of the questions that I always have is, what if you can't reach that keyboard just sitting on the table? Are there ways to make it easier to get a hold of some of those really cool keyboards?
Yeah, there's lots of interesting devices out there that allow a person better access to the keyboard or better position it for them to use. In fact, AT 101 says, the first thing you need to look at is the person's seating and positioning. Because if their seating and positioning isn't correct, their access to whatever they're trying to get to is automatically diminished. So a couple of the things that I use day in and day out to be able to kind of bring things closer to someone, get them in the right position for them, are these devices over here. This one right here is called a couple different things in different capacities. Originally they were for camera lighting, and they would recognize them as Bojan magic arms. In the rehab industry, they're often referred to as universal switch mounting arms. But what we found in the rehab industry, in the assistive technology area, is that they provide really great positioning tools for keyboards, for mice, providing better access to the computer for individuals who may struggle with something that's just on a standard desktop. So what happens is you've got an arm. It has a frame clamp that attaches to your desk or table. Can fit round. If it's on a wheelchair, you can actually wrap it around the arm of a chair. It's pretty adjustable. Very fluid, but what the key part to this whole device is that there's a tension knob in the middle. And as soon as you lock down that tension knob, by just twisting it, the whole entire system becomes very rigid, and it basically locks itself into place. And with it locked into place, you can take things like keyboards, and through the wonderful world of Velcro, put things right on top of there, and basically bring things closer to the individual into their area of access, allowing them to basically have better control over those devices.
So you can get the keyboard where you need it really to be in the environment for that particular time.
That's right. That's right. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll use two of them and put them side by side if it's a bigger keyboard, maybe just one of them if it's a pointing device like a mouse or a trackball, those kinds of things. Another thing we use oftentimes too is if you have a person who is able to type maybe up on the table or something like that, there's a lot of strain and stress that person's put when typing on a traditional keyboard or even an adaptive keyboard by having to hold their hands up above the keyboard all the time. What we do for some of those issues is use these things called ergo-rest articulating arm supports. They're known by several different names, and there are several different companies that make them. But what happens with this is, again, you have a frame clamp that attaches it to the desk. It's adjustable, so if you have bigger desks, you can kind of make it fit. But once you clamp it to the desk, it provides great support to that person's arms so that they don't have to do any of their own. It doesn't put any strain or stress on your arm, your forearms, your shoulders, your neck, your back, to be able to kind of hold your hands up above the keyboard. Let me move this one out of the way, bring this one over here in front of us, and I'm able to just sit down and type. Notice they're fully articulating too. I can get over to here to maybe a mouse if I'm left-handed. I can also put a second one over here to be able to get to my right if I need to pick up a pen or paper. Lots of different ways to be able to use things like this. Oftentimes they come in a short pad and a long pad. This one that's attached to the table is a long pad. This one is a short pad. Differences in them. I feel a lot of people prefer the long pad just simply because they get more stability out of the device. A lot of times on the shorter pads they rock back and forth. But those are just a few of the ways that we can improve access to keyboards, mice, in general for persons who struggle with that.
So that just goes to show you, even if you have the right keyboard, if it's not in the right position, it's not going to be very useful for you. So that's your tech tip for this week. I'm Wade Wingler with the Indata Project in Indiana.